Well, hello and welcome everybody. Today I'm starting a coffee talks with leaders in different industries to help you guys to excel and accelerate, I suppose, in your career. As always, I invite you to listen to the very end, where we're going to suggest a strategy each from each side that will allow you to apply that strategy straight away and just feel the benefits as you do it. This interview is with two wonderful people. It will be all about high performance health habits that will elevate your success. So today I'm chatting to my guests are Stacy and Marcus Nogel. They're high performance health consultants who help you eat for excellence and longevity through diet and lifestyle medicine. They're both wonderful people with, when I met Stacy first, I called them yin and yang of Western and Eastern medicine and knowledge combined in their 30 years of experience. So Stacy combines East Asian medical background with Marcus's MIT molecular biology degree and their 30 years clinical experience in health and well-being. So guys, I am delighted to have you here today. And when we talk about high performance and high achievers, I suppose, people who want to strive for better life, better career, we often say things like discipline, mindset, good diet, exercise, and so on. How do you guys help your clients stay healthy and vibrant? Either of you, Stacy or Marcus, whoever wants to take this question.
Thank you. Thank you for having us, and thank you for the lovely introduction. What we do is we look at people where they are. We look at the habits that they already have in their current lives, the basic necessities. We all need to eat. We need to drink water. We need to breathe. We need to sleep. We need to move our bodies. And as human beings, we need to have meaningful, deep personal relationships. And so what we do is we help them optimize those habits. And when they do that, it's sort of like, you talk about these things that high achievers do. Those are like qualities of a car. It's like, oh, it's got power windows and heated seats and all of these things. But what's really important is the foundation. Does the car go?
Yeah.
So we help make sure that that foundation is strong so that people have the confidence in their capacity to excel in their work and their lives.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. I also noticed when it comes to food, it's something that we take for granted when our diet, because especially people who aim high, they focus on their outcomes so much and sometimes not so much on how they fuel their bodies and how they keep themselves going. With me, it's kind of came very clear to me when 2 years ago I had a medical issue that led to surgery and so on, and I had to stay for 2 months with no food. Now it seems like it was on and off, but the amounts were tiny. So I learned very valuable lesson that food is not only source of energy, which I felt so much because I couldn't walk or move at all, but it's also a source of joy. So how do you guys keep yourselves energized? And I see that you have 30 years of experience. How do you keep inspired and energized? Maybe Marcus will take this question.
Yes. Well, I'm a scientist and she's a scientist. So we're scientists at heart. And I think at the heart of science is problem solving and fact gathering. And, not only have we conducted this research around food with ourselves, most importantly, but we've done it with our two young boys too, who are 13 and 9. They've eaten a plant-based diet since conception. And we take blood tests from ourselves and make sure that, all the things that we're tracking, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, micronutrients are all in the place that they need to be so that we can perform optimally. And I think for us, we love to meet new people. We have clients from all over the world. And while we all are different, we're all much more similar than different. And we're certainly similar in that we all need food. And as your experience with your health challenge, I think when you open up a conversation around food, you find oftentimes that it's an unconscious act for most people. They don't think about what they eat. They don't think about when they eat. They don't think about how they eat. Furthermore, it's highly emotional too, because historically in most cultures, the woman's been in charge of collecting, gathering the food, then preparing the food and feeding that family. Those traditions have been passed down from grandmother to daughter, from daughter to granddaughter. And, those can be very rich and very informing, and they can also help lead to the unconsciousness around what you're eating and what's best for you as well. And so when someone comes to us and wants to perform at a higher level, or someone comes to us with a very specific health problem, it's exciting for us because we get to learn more. And ultimately, when it comes right down to it, we're just students. We're trying to learn as much as we possibly can. And in every interaction that we have lots of information to share from our 60 years of experience, but we learn so much from the people that we interact with too. It's really a very rich, rewarding exchange.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's the more you talk, the more word awareness came to mind, that we just need to become aware what works for us, what doesn't work for us, what makes us feel happier or more energized or maybe tired and so on. And also working with high achievers, high performance. I noticed that people tend to do more of what they do best. And what high achievers do best is push forward, focus, push out, get things done. And in that process, often tiredness and whatever else comes with it, fatigue, maybe even stress or overwhelm. People react differently to different things, but high achievers tend to push it aside and maybe, as you know that saying, think on your feet. So we eat on our feet. We almost pay no attention to whatever else is out around us, to grab some snack to fuel our energy and whatever, so we can keep going. This is where our decisions about food and decisions in general can become a little bit blurred and maybe a little bit ineffective. So my job, I work predominantly with women, so I help them to see those blind spots and to eliminate probably ineffective decisions, eliminate that mind patterns that will lead them to successful kind of building of their careers and healthy as well. Although I don't pay that much attention to diet, perhaps, what advice would you give to amplify people's energy and focus and resilience?
A lot of us, we eat food to take energy in. It's calories, maybe it's coffee or caffeine, or it's sugar. We do these things to get energy. But the truth is that our bodies are energy generators. And when we focus instead, not just on bringing in food that is energy, but on optimizing the systems that generate energy from the things that we bring in. And so that's our digestive system. It's our gut biome, making sure that is steady and stable and powerful, and getting the nutrients from our food and turning them into the chemicals that we need and sending those out to our bodies so that our cells are nourished. And it's also about, I just lost my train of thought, but yes, it's about that. Oh, and it's about the cellular health, because we have little engines in every single cell called mitochondria. And when we take action to support them, it's like giving more horsepower to the engines in our cars. They are amazing. They produce an entire body's worth weight of ATP every day. It's produced, used, taken apart, but it's an incredible production. So when we become energy generators instead of just energy consumers, we can amplify our energy and sustain it for longer periods of time.
And I might add a word. You focused on awareness, correctly so. And another word that I might add to that important list is prioritization. Yeah. For most people, like you said, when you're a high performance, when you're an entrepreneur, you're trying to work at your maximum capacity. For most of those people, they're not sleeping enough, they're not drinking enough, and they're not focused on food in any way. And in fact, with the proliferation here in the United States, we're actually in South America, but in the United States where we come from, fast food has exploded because people want to eat as quickly as they possibly can to try to save an hour or two that they can then bank to work more or do something that they deem more productive. But we need to prioritize what we put in our bodies, because if you're putting garbage in your body, you're not going to perform at a high level. And so taking that time or stealing that time that you perceive you need to be a high performance, a high performer from what you eat is absolutely one of the worst possible places that you can go looking for time. We need to prioritize what we eat and how we eat so that we can perform at our maximum capacity.
Absolutely, yes. In one of your interviews, actually, I looked at the YouTube, and Stacy mentioned the unknown, mysterious, subconscious belief that lead us to eat that extra cookie. The thing is that exactly, sugar rush is real, and it does give you instant burst of energy, and also it makes you feel happy. So why not? So we often use food as self-regulation. We use food as instant burst of happiness, and we prefer to deal with the outcomes or subsequences later. I help women to move away from this kind of attitude and move away from unproductive habits. Maybe you have something similar to that, I believe, something to do with habits. You work on that as well, do you?
We absolutely focus on the habits because you're in a body, you're in it for the long game. And so what we do every day matters. You know, a lot of us, we start investing in our retirement and we make consistent investments so that we appreciate the compound interest and big returns later in our life. Our health is the same way. And so thinking about it in terms of, yes, I want to feel good now, but I want to make a smart investment that's not only excellence for today, but is amazing health for the long term. And so when we start to think of it like that, it shifts it, and it can help us circumvent that inner rebel that can come up. And we also recognize that food is a path of transformation, and it does trigger things for us.
Yes.
And those moments are gold because those are the places where we can transform, or we can look more carefully, where people can work with you to help deal with subconscious beliefs that aren't supportive. And we can make the changes that deepen our self-nurturance, our self-love, so that we can live long enough and healthy enough lives that we can express our soul purpose and passions.
Absolutely. And what would be your one piece of advice you would give to people who listens to this interview about their physical and brain vitality? Just something that they can take away, come home and say, I must try this today.
You know, we're talking to you today from the Andes Mountains at about 9,000 feet in Cuenca, Ecuador, where we've lived for almost 2 years now. And we moved here because originally in the 1970s, Harvard started the Blue Zone studies, and Vilcabamba, Ecuador was one of 7 places where people regularly lived to over 100 years of age with a super high quality of life. So we lived in Vilcabamba for about 6 months to understand how they eat and what their lifestyles are like, and we're happily stuck here in Ecuador. But if I were to summarize what Dan Buettner and his studies have looked at, you know, the other 5 places in 7 quick, succinct words, and they're not even mine, they're Michael Pollan's. He's the author of The Omnivore's Dilemma. He's a highly published author and lecturer. And he says very succinctly in 7 words, eat food, not too much, mostly plants. And I think that there's no more eloquent, there's certainly, I couldn't say it any shorter than 7 words, exactly. But I don't think that there's anything more important. When you look at the key success factors in the Blue Zones, these people eat predominantly a plant-based diet. They eat lots of beans and nuts, you know, sweet potatoes in Okinawa, Japan. They use meat as a flavorizer, as a tenderizer. It is not the focus of 3 meals a day. They are social, they are active, they keep their body moving in natural ways through gardening and walking and hiking. And the number one most important thing that came out of that study actually didn't even have to do with diet. It's that you have to have meaningful social connections and a reason to get up in the morning. And so if you have purpose in life, if you have friends who support you in that purpose, and you pay attention to what you put in your body, there's hardly any way that you can't perform at a high level. And so these are choices that we can consciously make as opposed to unconsciously going through one of the most important aspects of human basic needs, which is eating.
Absolutely, yes. So for me, 2 words stand out quite clearly. It's our choices and to eat meaningful, to see what you eat, and to really enhance our diet with things that help us to help our vitality really, and help our brain as well. from my side, working with women and noticing, one lady admitted that she said, how is it that I tend to put all healthy things on my child's plate and I eat whatever? So I said, well, this is the time for you to reflect and start turning things around, because you're the one who is the care provider to that child. So maybe it's time to start looking after you, number one, really put your oxygen mask first. For me,
Yes.
as a coach, and talking about food is hugely important for me. That's why I reached out to have this chat. But my own strategy for today, for people who listen to this and who want to excel in their career, make their next move not just possible, but make it effective and fulfilling, to have joy while doing it. It's exactly what you said, Marcus, setting priorities. One piece is we reared in, no disrespect to anyone, but the way we perceive success is very masculine. It's still hard work. It's still very mechanical. It's still push and go. I want a listener to allow themselves to move away from traditional hard masculine mechanics and achieve things by prioritizing, obviously. Because mechanics and hard stuff and constantly pushing yourself to a limit, many limits, can actually drive you into stress and overwhelm. And prioritizing your actions based on their importance, same way as prioritizing food you put into your body, and based on their importance, urgency, and so on. And visualizing, allow yourself to have a couple of minutes just to sit and stare at this world. I am a huge plant lover. I enjoy my garden. I enjoy growing stuff as well. Just allow yourself to sit and visualize something that comes next and feel happy about it. That is the main thing. Guys, I'm delighted to have you here today. Anything else you want to, probably people to visit your website or to attend your course or something? Anything you want to make people aware of?
Thank you for asking. And, you know, life is about the yin and the yang, and it needs to be balanced. The masculine, the feminine, the light, the dark, the inner, the outer, the food that we take in, it's all about balance. And finding that balance is really that sweet spot for quality of life. And if people would like to learn more about us, Stacy Noggle I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook. Marcus is also on LinkedIn. They can find us there. We would be happy to send anyone who wants to reach out to us a regeneration protocol book that we have written. It's a small ebook, but it talks about the habits, the basic habits. We have to get the foundation right before any of those great superfoods or, you know, extra amazing shiny objects can work for us. If our foundation's not strong, it won't matter. And so we have some information. We would be happy to share that to them. Just reach out to us and send a message.
Fantastic. From my end, I offer a special offer to ladies who want to boost their confidence in or prior to moving their roles up. So somebody who is going for promotion or somebody who is thinking to move up the career ladder. I have a very, very short course I created, 4 weeks, 4 powerful sessions. It's called Confidence to Lead. So anyone who is interested in this very attractive offer, because the price is quite competitive, I would like you to get in touch as well. It was a pleasure chatting with you guys, and I hope we'll cross our paths soon again.
Thank you for all your great work, and we appreciate connecting with you as well.